You guys, we have an international model. She signed in multiple countries and multiple markets. Her name is Natalie, and she'll be telling us about her modeling journey and answering some of the questions that we have for her today. Okay,
Thank you.
the first question I have for you is for you to tell us about how you got into modeling and how long ago was that? How long have you been modeling?
So I've been modeling for about 7 years now, but I would say like real modeling, like international modeling, I would say about 4 years,
Okay.
I want to say. And I got into it because basically I've just always been like freakishly tall for my age for such a long time. And people have told me like, you're just so
Yeah.
tall, like you have to be a model. And for a while I was like, no, like that's stupid. I don't want to do that. Like, and eventually I was like, you know what? Like, okay. Like, I started seeing some Instagram models come up on my like explore page, and I was like, okay, this looks like kind of cool. Like, let me try. Like, so I submitted myself to agencies online, got a few interviews, and then selected a mother agency, and I've been modeling ever since.
And if I saw correctly on your Instagram, you were modeling before when you were a teenager, right? Like under the age of 18,
I
when you
started
started.
modeling, yeah. Yeah, I started modeling when I was 16.
What
I
was
was
that
young, and I'm 23 now.
what was that transition like from cuz I know like when you turn 18 like a lot of opportunities come up more. What was that transition like from modeling as a minor to modeling as an adult?
I started working when I was an adult. So
Oh,
that's when I started
okay.
getting paid opportunities. Like I mostly just got editorials when I was younger because part of that was, I was in school, I was new, I was just doing test shoots. Like it
Yeah.
takes a while to, build up your
Mhm.
portfolio. But I would say opportunities really started opening up for me once I was 18 because, then you can be more on the women's board. And so many clients, I feel like they tell the
Yeah.
agency like, hey, I want someone of age. It just makes it so much easier for them. So I feel like, yeah, that is a really good point. Opportunities really do start to open up once you're 18.
Do you feel like would you recommend someone to start modeling before 18, or would you just tell them to wait until they're 18?
I would, because it takes everyone a different amount of time to, get started in
Yeah.
their career, right? But for me, I would say it definitely took me a bit longer to progress in my career. So if you really want to take it seriously, the earlier the
Yeah,
better,
start now.
honestly, to just get your portfolio, like practice posing and everything. But I would not recommend going international until
Okay.
you're at least 19 or 20. I would say under 18 is just way too young. Unless like you have a parent or like maybe you're doing it with a bunch of friends. But
Mhm.
even so, I would say start small.
You brought up international modeling, and I know you're signed in Mexico, Greece, Italy. If I miss anything, let me know, as well as like Atlanta, United States as well. But
Yeah.
I wanted to know like what your experience has been like in each of those markets, how they differ and how they're similar.
So I actually just got signed in Mexico, literally
Oh,
like
okay.
a week, like I think last week I
Oh,
signed my
congrats.
contract, and I'm
Okay.
going to go. Thank you, thank you. I am going to fly out there January 9th as
Oh,
of
very
now.
soon. Yeah.
So
That's literally a
I'm
month from
super
now.
excited. Wait, I didn't even realize that. Oh my gosh, today. Okay, you're right, you're right. So 1 month, I have to start packing and everything. But
Yeah.
anyways, so I went to Greece first. That was my
Yeah.
very first on stay. And that I'm definitely so thankful for that opportunity. Like I feel like I did not understand modeling until I went international.
Okay.
Like I basically went from doing like small Atlanta like boutique jobs, like maybe like a hair show or something, to like actually like having like 7 castings a day, like real jobs.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a mixed market there. There's definitely a lot of different types of work. There's runway, there's definitely more fashion. ecom, all that, editorials. And I did go to Italy, but I ended up doing mostly editorials there because
Okay.
I didn't even realize when I was booking my tickets, I went in Men's Week. So I
Oh,
so I went actually this summer. I went
yeah.
this Men's Week because I just went as soon as I got signed, and I didn't even think about like, wait, like all the
Is it a
opportunities are
busy
going to be like
season? Yeah.
for men.
Yeah.
Like, so I would love to go back at a busier time
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't have too many castings there. Honestly, I had maybe like 3, 4 castings a week. And in Greece, that was like a light day for me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
3, 4 castings. Like, but in Mexico, I have heard it's kind of similar to Greece, where you have a pretty fair amount of castings every day, and again, a really mixed market. You know, there's some commercial, there's some fashion, like runway, editorial, lots of opportunities. But I would definitely say there are so many more opportunities abroad than maybe not in the US in general, but definitely in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
There's definitely more opportunities.
Do you feel like you're going to venture out to also New York and LA, or even like other markets like even the Asian market that's doing like really good numbers as well?
I've heard really good things about Singapore from
Yeah.
friends. I would love to do Singapore. I definitely would love to do New York or LA, and that is a goal in the near
I
future
can
for
definitely see it
sure. I've
happening.
been like, girl, I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, you're sliding.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I have been focusing on school for a while now. I just graduated a year ago
Congratulations.
from UGA. Thank
That's a really
you.
good school too.
So,
Like congrats for real.
thank you. It was so hard to get into. Like, oh my gosh, like high school was so much more stressful than college. Like
That's
I
what I
worked
always
so much
say.
harder in high school
Yeah.
than I did in college. But so I was definitely focusing more on that. And now that I'm free to
Yeah.
model, I'm definitely working on my portfolio, and I would love to do LA after Mexico. I'm kind of
Yeah.
thinking like build up my portfolio a little bit, be strategic like for submissions. And yeah, I would love to do LA.
You brought up UGA, and I wanted to ask how, when you were in school and you were also modeling, how did you balance both of those worlds without, like, lacking on your studies, you know?
It was hard at times for sure, but I would just stay really ahead of my
Okay.
work. That way, if I got like a last minute, like, oh, are you available like tomorrow or the next day? I'd be like, yeah, I am,
Yeah.
because I'm already ahead. And basically, I would try really hard on every assignment, even if it was like, just a really small percentage of my grade, because that way, if, I have a few jobs like a week before a test,
Hmm.
like, I'm kind of building in a buffer
Yeah.
zone there, so if I don't do so hot on that, like I have some room to spare. I'm not like, oh, I wish I could, but like I have this test that's going to make or break me. Like definitely having a buffer zone
Yeah.
built in was absolutely key.
Did you ever strategize like your classes for, because I know some classes they have like an attendance policy. You miss like one class or two classes. Did you set courses that allow that space for you to go and miss a class?
So, yeah, the attendance policy at UGA was honestly ridiculous in
I
my
think it's like
opinion.
three
I
times in a
had
year.
so many classes.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I think it's like what, you missed three classes and then that deducts your grade, right?
It's 4, but
Okay.
there's some classes where like on the 4th one it starts deducting. Like you go from like if you have an A to an A minus,
That's
and
crazy.
there's some
Yeah.
classes where on your 4th, like automatic failure.
Yeah. I've
Like it
heard
doesn't
that.
matter if you have a 98. Like, and I think that's ridiculous
It is.
personally. But so I really sucked it up and made sure I always went to class. Like I in high school maybe I would kind of take a day off to
Hmm.
study and catch up, but I did not do that at all in college. I was very just like suck it up, go to that 8 a.m. rainy day class because that way I can afford to miss it for a job. But I was a fashion major,
Okay, I was
so
gonna
a
ask
lot
that.
of yeah. So a lot of my teachers were like kind of cool with it. So I would explain what the situation was and be like, look, like I'm working. I will literally show you the email from my agent. Like I'm
Okay,
not
yeah.
making this up. Like, and some of them were cool with it. And they'd be like, okay, like you can take the test like a day early or a day late, or like I won't count this as an absence. And some were not. So those classes I
Mm.
had to be really strategic about. Like if it was like maybe I was on 3 absences, I would only leave that class for a higher paying job
Yeah.
as opposed to like a smaller one. So I would
Yeah.
say I had to be very strategic.
What's your goal with your fashion degree? Do you want to create your own fashion brand or get into fashion marketing, or what is like what's your future goal with that?
So I don't want to use my degree for a while, actually.
That's how I am.
It was fun. Yeah. I'm like, I'm good for a while.
Yeah.
Like it was super fun and I learned a lot, but I am not ready for a desk job for a very
Mm.
long time. I was originally thinking about being a fashion buyer, but
Okay.
I just don't think that that's for me because I did not realize you're basically an accountant with that job. Like you're an accountant
Okay.
for clothes,
So you have to
basically.
like
And
remember how much they're
it's
wait, yeah, talk me through that. Yeah.
it's a lot of like Excel and like you
Oh.
do a lot. Actually, you have to know a lot of like trade laws. You have to know a
Mm.
lot about like different fabric prices and like last year's sales and budgeting, and
It's a
it's
lot
a
of math. It sounds
lot.
like way more
So
math and less fashion.
it is, and I didn't realize that until getting pretty far in my degree.
Yeah.
And I already switched degrees once, and I already took a gap semester for modeling. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna get this degree. Like, I want a degree. Like, I picked my lane. Like, I'm gonna go with it. But so I'm thinking maybe fashion marketing
Okay.
eventually,
Mm-hmm.
but right now I am actually getting certified to be a personal trainer because I'm like, you know what? I would rather do that.
And also, your body is tea, and that was on my list. We might as well just get into those questions now. All right. So I've noticed on your Instagram, and you just said how you want to like you're like trying to be a personal trainer. You are very like health
Mhm.
focused, and I see you work out a lot. What was my exact question I had for you? It was
Mhm.
dang, where is it? I have it here. Oh, what inspired your fitness journey and your health, like your eating journey, is like your eating healthy journey as well?
So that's actually really interesting. A lot of people don't know. I'm technically disabled.
Okay.
I have a connective tissue disorder. And
Oh.
when I was in high school, I had to wear knee braces. I would wear wrist
Mm.
braces. Like basically, I'm too flexible for my own good. And I
That's
have
a
this
thing?
disorder.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like insanely double jointed. Like I could be in a circus. Like literally, I'm not even
Wow.
kidding. Like,
Okay.
and so I'm basic people with my disorder, you're just very, very weak and your body like
Oh.
cannot hold itself together, basically. And like the joints itself literally can't hold themselves together. And so I had to, as a form of physical therapy, start strength training, like start
Oh,
doing
okay.
weights and a lot of exercises to like get my strength up. And now I'm totally fine.
Yeah, I'm happy to
I
hear that.
keep up with like all my exercises. I don't need to wear knee braces anymore. Like I'm good as long as I just keep up with strength training.
Yeah.
And I got into that when I was like maybe 16, 17,
Okay.
and I've just loved it so much. It's been a part of my routine because if I didn't do my physical therapy exercises, like I would fall down, like
Oh
my
my gosh.
knees
Yeah.
would cave in. So I did not have an option. Like I had to work out from a young
Yeah.
age. And it's honestly just been a part of my life ever since. Like if you work out, like every day for so long at such a young age, like
It's just a
you
part of your
grow to love it.
routine.
Like you just
Yeah.
do.
I want to say that in the chat, they're saying you're so beautiful. They thought I was talking to AI. They just got here. They're like, I thought you were talking to AI. She's beautiful.
Stop it. Oh my God, thank you guys.
I am curious if the extra, because you are still able to have the extra flexibility even with your working out, right? How does that help you with modeling? Because that gets you these very unique poses, I would imagine. Have you noticed that it is a plus?
It definitely does. I would say I definitely, when I was younger, I had some more like cool, like edgier stuff. I would say my book has gotten just a little more commercial based, but honestly, that is such a good point. Like, because I have a few collabs coming up, so like I should get freaky with it.
Lean into it, yeah.
Like, I should show them what's up.
Yeah, do it. I would love to see that. Speaking of this, I know you're in Vogue, you're in L'Officiel, you've been in Times Square, you're in storefronts everywhere. What has been your favorite job so far in modeling?
Interesting. I would say, I thought you were going to ask this, so I was thinking of this.
Okay.
So one job comes to mind in Greece. It was probably one of my favorite jobs, but also one of the most tiring.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Like a long day?
It was a cigar social media campaign I did in Greece. And I found out, so like everything is really last minute in Greece. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. So I was at one job and my agent texted me. She was like, you need to pack your bags. Like you booked a thing for tomorrow or a shoot for tomorrow, like that you have to fly out for. Like you're going to the airport immediately after this. I'm going to tell them like you have to leave early. And so I flew from Athens, Greece to Rhodes, the island.
Okay.
And I got in at 1 a.m. and then it was me and one other model, and we fell asleep at like 2:30, woke up at 7 to shoot at 8. So well worth it, but we were tired. Yeah. And it was a basically really like informal shoot where they had a videographer with a professional camera, but they also had a lot of people doing just like iPhone BTS content, and that was actually the majority of what was used. It was meant to be like really like casual, like friends smoking cigars kind of vibe, and it was so cool. They rented a yacht. We shot on a yacht, and we went to a beach club. We shot there, and then we went to a few restaurants, and we ate so much. Like I was literally like,
Greek food is nice too.
Like, sick at the end of the night because their food was so good. And we were done with like all of the swim stuff and everything, and they were like, no, like keep eating, like we want shots of you like eating, smoking the cigar. So I was like, okay guys, okay. Like, but it was such a blast. Like I do like occasionally smoke a cigar, so it was definitely nice to be able to get paid to smoke a cigar on a yacht. It was a vibe. On an
island, like,
Exactly. But definitely had to be very on at that shoot because we were being videotaped and like pictures taken of us the entire time. Angle. And and they were trying to catch us off guard. Like it was kind of annoying sometimes. Like there was one picture they posted, it was like a BTS picture of me eating watermelon, and it was like this giant chunk of watermelon, and there was like nowhere to sit, so I was like sitting on the ground. Like I literally looked like an animal the way
like
I was
hunched
sitting.
over your food.
Literally, I was squatting on the ground, like unhinging my jaw to eat this piece of watermelon, and I had no idea I was being videotaped, and I saw a tagged picture of me, and I was like,
remove it from tags.
I was like, oh my gosh, guys. And ever since that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I gotta be on. Like, but we shot until like 11:30 at night. So it It was a day.
Yeah.
It was a day. It was really fun, really tiring, but definitely worth it.
Would you say that, which one was more surreal? This is gonna be like just a little fun little quiz. Which one was more surreal? Seeing yourself in Vogue, seeing yourself in Officiel, seeing yourself on Times Square, or seeing yourself in storefronts?
I would say seeing myself in storefronts because I'm a shopper and I feel like, I don't know, I just never really imagined I would get that far, honestly. Like going to a mall and like seeing myself like in a mall that like I have shopped in before, not like going somewhere to see the picture. Like I just honestly never thought I would get that far. So I would say that was like crazy to me.
It's so nice, especially when you're able to like take a picture, and then once you're taking that picture, people are walking by like, is that
you? No, literally, like people were like, wait, is that you? Because like I was really, really spray tanned in my like storefront picture. And so like I'm super pale in person. So like a lot of people were like,
double takes.
I'm like, yeah, like I look different, but yeah.
Stop. Okay. Let me move on to the next question. Okay, so we talked earlier about like eating healthy and working out. What are some other things you do alongside that to prepare you for whether it be castings or just for and maybe even like a last minute shoot? What are some things you're always doing to make sure you stay ready?
I'm always really on my skincare for sure. Like I will not be slacking with that because you never know when opportunities come. Like you don't want to like sleep in your makeup or just not wash your face all day. Like, and then you have pimples and you know, you have a big opportunity, you know? So I would say I'm always very, very vigilant about that. Same with taking care of my hair. Like I'm always hair oiling. I keep up with my roots, like because I do dye my hair, and I've had a few opportunities where I had really bad roots. Like they were literally like grown out to here because I was being cheap, and I had a really hard time getting my hair done for it. Like I almost was not able to get it done, and you cannot show up to jobs like that. So I would say that's another thing. You always have to stay ready as a model. You always have to be ready to shoot.
You always get so many like last minute castings, whether it be like, oh, can you go here in an hour? You have this job tomorrow. Everything is so last minute. I was gonna ask, okay, so I saw on your Instagram you make a lot of fresh juices. What would you say are your like top 3 fresh juices that you love to make?
I love celery cucumber juice. I just think it tastes great, honestly. Like once you're like in the healthy eating and like you don't like things that are like too sweet, like it genuinely tastes good. Like
and
it's refreshing.
For your skin too, right? Like when you're drinking it,
it's super hydrating, lots of minerals because you get more vitamins than you would by eating it, because like no one's gonna like eat like 4 cucumbers, like no one's gonna do that, like you know what I mean, like. So I would say definitely celery cucumber juice. Sometimes I'll mix like some green apple, some kiwi in there, and I swear by ginger turmeric shots and lemon juice in there too, because I have really bad GI issues actually, so I have to really also stay on top of that because I used to have these like crazy bloating episodes, and you can't show up to work like that. You know what I mean? Like you can't show up to a swimsuit like, you know, like being super bloated. So I would say that is another thing I also do to prep. I'm really on all of my gut health routines and everything like that. And luckily I've gotten a really good handle on it, but that's another reason why I eat so healthy is because I don't really have a choice. Like I'll get so sick, so bloated if I eat high sugar processed foods. So I would say that's definitely gluten, something else I do.
Oh, there's a lot of like gluten intolerant people who like can bloat from gluten as well.
So I've been tested and I can handle gluten, but I've noticed I naturally kind of eat low gluten. So I would say that is something that I would say goes in my favor. I just tend kind of eat a little bit lower gluten. And I have heard that that's really good for your skin too, from a few friends. Like I've heard some other models say that like they would break out from it and they cut it out and they feel a million times better. And their skin's been a million times better.
We did have a question from the chat, and they are curious about your skincare routine. If you don't mind sharing it with us, what are your what are your products where you're like, these are a must?
Yeah, so I do have a prescription face wash actually, because I used to have pretty bad acne. And so I would recommend definitely going to the dermatologist if you have any kind of acne, because it really will transform your face. But my dermatologist did recommend CeraVe facial lotion, and I've been using it for years. It's like the only lotion that won't break me out. Like I don't do any kind of like other moisturizer. That is the one that like I swear by. Like I always bring it with me when I go out of the country, because I'm so scared that like they won't have the special one for your face, because there's one for your face and one for your body. And actually internationally, it's really hard to find the one for your face. So I swear by that. And recently, I would say the past like month, I've been using Laneige skin toner. And I feel like it's really helped with redness, because I'm super pale. So the tiniest bit of redness in my face is going to show. So I would say if you're struggling with that, I really recommend that.
I say my top one is sunscreen. Like sunscreen for me changes everything, because if you have that hyperpigmentation and you're not wearing that sunscreen, it's just going to make it so much worse. So much worse.
That's a good reminder. I have the CeraVe facial sunscreen, and I usually use it. Yeah, I use that more in the summer. But honestly, I need to be on the grind with that, because I want to stay young.
Sunscreen, facts, and you stay young. Like the sun will cause wrinkles and all of that earlier on than when it should be happening. So I hope that answers the question about the skincare. Let's ask. Okay. So with being signed to multiple countries and multiple cities as well, what are some things when going through a contract that stick out to you, whether it be a red flag or a green flag?
I would definitely say you want to make sure some of your expenses are covered. So it's very normal to have to pay for your own ticket, especially as an American, because you're so far away. Like it's such an expensive ticket. Most agencies aren't willing to pay for that. So I would definitely say that's normal, but your rent should be basically like not covered, but you work it off. Like you shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for a model apartment. Yeah, exactly. And same with the visa. So I really thoroughly read my contract, and the visa is going to cost an equivalent of I think $800 something to that degree.
For Mexico? Or in general?
Yeah, for Mexico. Yeah, Mexico. And it's paid by advance by the agency, but you work it off, of course. Like it's not just a gift, but that's a big green flag. If you have to pay out of pocket for anything, that's it doesn't mean it's a bad agency necessarily, but it's definitely not in your favor. Yeah, exactly. And I would say it's not a red flag, because every agency has their requirements, but you have to read your contracts very carefully, because some will specify measurements or like you have to get a job by X date. Like I was super eager to go to Greece my first time, because it was my first ever on stay, and big mistake, I did not read my contract and I just signed it. And honestly, thank God, because like I would have been so stressed since I was so young. But apparently the contract said if you don't get a job within 7 days of being there, like you have to go home. Like they won't necessarily kick you out. Yeah. Because you're taking a spot in the model apartment from another girl who could be making money. And so they'll cut you some slack. Like I knew a girl who absolutely gorgeous, but she just did not get work in 7 days, and she stayed like 2 weeks. Actually, the agency let her stay, but
Yeah.
because they were like, we think you all work, we think it's just a slow start. But she ended up going home, and but yeah, the contract says like they have the right to kick you out seven
Yeah.
days. So again, and it was a great agency, but definitely something to be aware of. And my Milan contract did specify certain measurements, and they said the same thing. It's not like, oh, you absolutely will be kicked out if you don't have these measurements, but it says, hey, if we choose to, we do have the right to send you
Yeah.
home if you're not within these parameters. So
Yeah.
again, not necessarily a red flag, but you need to be mindful of
Yeah.
it, and just if you're willing to deal with that or not, I would say.
With that being said, what do you think is the biggest misconception with modeling from people who aren't models?
I would say that models are mean, because
I've
that
heard that.
is just
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
Hmm.
Like models are so humble. That's what most people don't understand. Like most people think like, oh, like we go to these jobs and like people, like just like fawn over us and like everything comes so easy. Like no, like one job like is after like 10
Yeah.
rejections.
Hmm.
Like it is absolutely not the case where people like, of course there's like bad apples in every bunch,
But it's so
but
rare, I
I
think.
I would definitely, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I've only met honestly like two models out of like seven
Yeah.
years, like
Hmm.
where I'm like, wow, like they're conceited, like,
Yeah.
but I would say that's the biggest misconception. I have met some of the nicest people I've ever met in model apartments and on jobs.
So then that brings me to ask you because you did bring up rejection and then maybe bringing up, and then also like, maybe meeting like these people with like maybe a negative attitude in this career where there are these negativities, whether it be the rejections or just maybe staying in a model apartment with people who maybe aren't the nicest people. How do you deal with maybe your mental health processing this career, the things that come with it?
Yeah, I definitely had an interesting model apartment situation at one point. There was one girl that people just she wasn't rude, but people just didn't really vibe with her. We
Hmm.
think she was kind of like stealing food and like
Okay.
stealing little things around the apartment. And like, how it is in model apartments,
Yeah.
like people will like use each other's shampoo and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't pin who did it, but I would say definitely just let things go unless you really want to pick a
Mm,
battle over something. But I would definitely say you have to find like your emotional support roommate or friend
yeah,
to just go to and vent and be like, oh my gosh, like, because like other models get it.
yeah,
Like, models get like living in the tiny little apartment with so many girls and like cultural
yeah.
differences and age differences, language gaps. Like it can be an intense situation sometimes. So I feel like definitely you need to find your buddy
That you
for
can talk
sure.
to. Yeah, it's funny you bring up
Yeah.
how the things were stolen in the model apartment because I had a friend. She was in Italy and she had all her clothes in like this closet that like was hers. Like it's only her closet, And she was looking at like the agency's Instagram and she noticed one of her roommates were wearing her shirt. So she looked for her shirt, couldn't find it. She went up to the girl and was like, hey, did you take my shirt? And the girl's just like, no, I didn't take your shirt. Didn't take it. So she ended up having to like find her shirt back within all of her stuff before the girl just wouldn't give her back her shirt. Like, that's actually the most insane thing I've ever heard before. Like, honestly.
That would really piss me off.
Yeah.
Like, and if they were like, "Oh yeah, I took your shirt. Like, here it is," I'd be like, "Okay, well, like, I
Different.
don't care."
Yeah.
But like, if they're like, "No, I don't have your shirt," like, I'll fight. Like, not really, but like, like, oh my
If
gosh,
I see it on the
yeah,
Instagram, you obviously have it?
I did not say anything to my agent because I was like, whatever, like she stole some of my like granola, like some of
Hmm.
my chips, like it's fine. Like, it's not the end of the world. But other girls actually did say something about this one girl to the agency. They were like, she's stealing food. Like, this is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
she's eating everyone's food, like, in the kitchen. Like, so that did happen in a model apartment. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not complaining. That is not that bad. Like, I've
Yeah.
heard some horror stories in model
Yeah,
apartments. So
same.
I'm
That
like, you
was
know what?
the
Like, if
lesson.
food is taken, like, I'll deal with that. That's fine. Luckily, I have never had anything actually, like, items taken from. I've never had jewelry taken from me or anything, but I was very careful to not really advertise
Yeah.
what I had or where I kept things, for sure. I would definitely say don't be too trusting. You know, don't advertise like, oh, I keep
Everything.
my
Yeah.
cash here.
Yeah.
Just leave all your jewelry out. Like, I would be careful.
Yeah. You brought up how your roommates, they called your agent. How as a model do you foster a good working relationship with your agents? Is there anything you do that just to have that good relationship with your agents?
I would definitely say just remember that it is a real job. Like, you
Yeah.
have to be formal and respectful with your agent. And, you know, of course, as you get to know them more, you can, like, maybe, like, be a little more informal, relaxed around them. But definitely, like, take it seriously, present yourself well. Like, when I interview and go to castings, like, I act like I'm in, like, a job interview, like, because at the end of the day, like, it that is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like people think it's not as, I don't know, it's not as serious, like, modeling. Maybe it can be a little more informal, but I would definitely say present yourself well and polished, for sure, and good communication. Like, with modeling, it is
Texting
so
back
important
quick.
to respond quickly. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that can, like, determine if you get a job or not. So definitely, like, be on, like, have your notifications on, for sure. That is very important because you'll be on your agent's bad side if you're never texting them back, never
Yeah.
checking your email, if they always have to text you being like, did you get my email?
Yeah.
Like, always be checking for things like that.
Yeah, I feel like there's been not so many times, but there have been like a couple times where like maybe I'll be taking a nap and I wake up and my agent has texted me saying like, "Hey, are you available tomorrow?" By the time I text back, that job is gone on to the next person, which it sucks, but it happens sometimes. So you got to have that ringer on. Have that ringer on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, I wanted to ask you dang, I low-key forgot the question. 1 second. It was about with how about this? What in your journey of modeling, if you would like to tell us, has been your least favorite experience? Has there ever been an experience with like maybe on set where you're just like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? Like do you have any bad experience that you reflect on that you're just like, oh, I can't believe like that happened that day?
I do have one thing that comes to mind. I would say, so originally I was with a different mother agency before I was with Ursula, and I did a portfolio shoot that was with a photographer that the agency owner was friends with, and I think maybe it was because like they felt like, oh, like the photographer felt like, oh, like I'm friends with her agent, like it's fine, I'm just gonna do this. But so I did a test shoot. It went okay. Like the photographer was honestly like a bit snippy with me, but that's just kind of how she is as a person. She's known for being difficult to work with. And I was like, okay, whatever. And as I was getting ready to leave the shoot, like we were done, there was an assistant or someone on set who was basically creating their own brand. Like she was creating a skincare brand or something like that. And they were basically like, okay, we're done, but like real quick. And they literally just like stuck these products in my hand and they were like, just model these like real quick, just pose these real quick. And I was super young, so I didn't realize like
she was getting
I knew like they were getting some free work out of me, but like I didn't know the extent of like how bad that is. And looking back, like I was thinking like maybe I should tell my agent, maybe not, but I wanted to be on her good side. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna like pitch a fit over this. Like I'll let it go. Looking back, I'm like, that enraged me. Like that, like they basically just like literally stuck the products
Without
in my
even
hand and just started taking. Exactly. Like they didn't even say like, are you okay with this? They're like, okay, we're just gonna shoot these real quick too. Like, and I paid the photographer. Like it was a test shoot. I was like, yeah.
You paid to work.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that comes to mind. Yeah. So don't let anyone do that to you. Definitely don't work for free.
That brings up a good point with modeling and you being like, a lot of times you're getting paid to like, model the clothes. How do you speak up when you're in an uncomfortable situation now? Because that happened when you were younger. What are some of the things if you've been in a uncomfortable, whether it be with your hair, the makeup, or something? How are some ways you speak up without coming off as like rude? You know what I mean?
I would definitely say text your agent if something is happening. Like, because that's what they're for. They will handle that for you. Like, they'll call the client and sort things out because they just know how to communicate that stuff in a more diplomatic way.
Yeah.
Like, I did have a shoot where it was in Greece where there was a male model and it was an absolutely crazy situation. I ended up having like spend the night with him in the location. And he was crazy. So I had to text my agent and be like, he is being insane right now. Like, he's not taking no for an answer. Like, deal with this, please. And she sorted it out. She like contacted the photographer and I ended up like staying the night somewhere else. And yeah, it was sorted out for me. So I would definitely say don't be shy to text your agent and be like, hey, like something's wrong, because that's what they're there for, especially international. Like they know like you're a young girl in a foreign country, like you need help sometimes. Like, so they're there for you.
I will say that's one of the benefits, I think, when it comes to like freelance modeling or modeling with an agency. That agent has the ability they can say whatever to the client, and like maybe you're not able to say it without coming off rude, but they can be rude and it won't really reflect you. They can be stern, more stern than we can speak, you know?
Exactly.
Okay, we're getting to our last couple questions, and I want to know, what advice do you have for someone who wants to get into modeling today?
I would definitely say you have to work hard at marketing yourself. So you have to show on your Instagram that you can be a model, because that is essentially another one of your portfolios, especially when you're starting out, especially when you don't have professional pictures of yourself. You need to have an Instagram that really shows what you look like and presents you in like make yourself look like a model on Instagram, basically, because that's how you're going to show photographers like, oh, okay, like I do want to work with this person. And I would definitely say collaborate and work with as many photographers as you can in the beginning. Like that's what I did. Like I hustled so hard in the beginning to always collaborate with different people in my area and just get practice posing, working with people, making connections. And so many of those people to this day will like every once in a while be like, oh, I have an opportunity. Like, are you interested? Or photographers that I've collaborated with are like, oh, hey, I have a paid opportunity. Are you interested? So definitely. Exactly. Building connections. That's a very, very big part as well.
How do you feel like you, when reaching out to photographers or reaching out for people to collaborate with, how do you decide who is someone who will help your book? Because there are like photographers out there that maybe their work won't really help your book, but they can like bring your book down, you know? How do you decide who to collaborate with?
That's a great question. I have worked with so many photographers where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just like this is so bad. I'm like, burn it. Like,
Yeah,
burn
I don't want to
image.
see this on
Like, oh
Instagram
my
ever.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally like, this is a disgrace. Like, but I would definitely say I look for photographers who have a very cohesive vibe, who can like consistently deliver, where like you like every image
Yeah.
basically, like,
Not just
and
like
they
one or
have a
two.
style.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like they have a style you can pinpoint, because I've worked with quite a bit of photographers in the beginning of my career where they were very hit or miss. Like some of their
Yeah.
pictures are really good and some were just not it. And I thought like, well, my shoot will be fine. Like it'll be good. Like I know what I'm doing.
You think, oh,
And
it's that
it was
model. Yeah.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, so bad. Like some of those like photographers, like it did end up going really well, but some I'm like, these are like, I'm like, I better not look like this.
I feel
Like,
like
oh
I've
my
gone through that as
gosh,
well,
like
where it's just like, I don't want to see these photos ever again.
it's a modeling rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, it just happens. No matter how far you are in your career, you're like, oh my gosh, like no one needs to see this.
Yeah.
Like, but I would definitely say look for a photographer that's just very, very consistent in their work. Don't gamble with it.
I think we're on our last question. And the question, I feel like you've already answered it a little, where you were saying how you're going to Mexico in January. But I want to know if there is there anything else you can tell us about what's next for you. I know that also like you do have your degree and you're still figuring out exactly what you want to do with that. But what's next for you? What can we see in the next few years with you and your journey?
The next few years, I would really like to also get signed in Chicago, because
Okay.
I have heard that there's a lot of direct bookings
Yeah.
there, and also in the Midwest. So basically, like you don't even have to move there or do an
Yeah.
on stay.
They'll fly
just
you
get
out.
you local work.
Mhm.
Exactly. So you know what? Yeah, I'll fly to North Carolina or some just random state. I would really love to have another agency, or maybe like a Nashville agency somewhere like in the States that's a little like not as quite busy as New York or LA, just for some not local but like not work where I have to either fly a really long way or be in an on stay. So I would definitely say that for sure. And hopefully LA.
Yes, for sure.
In the future. LA or New York. LA or
I can
New
see you
York.
doing both. You and me, what is
Thank
that?
you.
Intercontinental, right? Or continental? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right.
I think so. What? Bi-coastal. That's the word.
That's it, girl. That's it. I never would have thought of that.
That is all of my questions for you today. I'm so happy that I had the chance to interview you. I hope you have like an amazing rest of your day, and I'm going to show your Instagram to everyone watching so they have the chance to follow you. But yeah, I enjoyed talking to you and hearing your experience.
You too. Oh my gosh, it's been so nice to see you again.
Same to you.
Yeah, like two
years.
and a half
yeah,
years.
Maybe a half.
Like
yeah.
That.
And if you guys were here in the beginning of our interview,
we were hanging out with Will Smith.
Yeah, we were hanging out with Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Vanessa Hudgens, something light, regular day activities, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope, I hope to see you do so many more amazing things.
You too. Thank you so much. And I love seeing all of your work, by the way. Oh my gosh. You have also been in Vogue. I have seen.
Yeah,
my gosh. Girl, congrats. Light work.
Thank you. All right. Bye, girl.
Bye, girl. Thank you.
Bye.